Welcome to the Retreat Leaders Podcast, your sanctuary with retreat experts, where we spill the tea on retreat success. Here we dive into crafting transformational guest experiences, talk about how to avoid pitfalls, and unlock marketing secrets. Whether you're a seasoned guru or a budding enthusiast, we've got the inside scoop for you. Join us as we learn how to flourish in this magical world of retreats. Hey everyone, welcome to the Retreat Leaders Podcast. It's Shannon today, and I have a beautiful guest that is joining us today. Not to mention, she is a partner in this gorgeous retreat venue located in Tuscany, Italy, that is on my horizon. I've talked to my team about it. It is something that we are absolutely going to be booking. And so I just wanted to welcome you to the show. And would you just introduce yourself and tell us a little bit about you?
Thanks so much for having me today, Shannon. I'm excited to be here in your podcast. I'm Franziska Leissner. I'm from Germany. And I've been on this journey of turning Borgo Belsedere, a retreat location in the middle of Tuscany. It's a 1,000-year-old medieval villa into a retreat location. And this is what I've done over the last 1.5 years.
I love this. So what I think we're going to chat about today is kind of like the journey of turning it into a retreat place. I know I get a lot of requests of people like, I'm interested in building out a business for retreats or a venue or whatever may be the case. So walk us through this. You said it's over 100-year medieval castle. Is that what I heard you say?
It's 1,000 years, actually.
Oh my gosh.
In Italy, everything is,
Yeah, it's even older. That's such a good point. Maybe in the US, it'd be 100 years, but
right.
over there. So it's over 1,000 years old. When you started working on this partnership and this business, tell me what it looked like. Did you have to gut it? Did you have to remodel it? Tell me what the process looked like.
We've started building up the whole project. When I came there, I started as a volunteer. I took a break from my corporate job in Germany and was about to start a new job. And I really thought it's good to clear my mind, work with my hands in the vineyard. And while doing that, I realized what a beautiful nature it is, what a wonderful area it is. And then I met Dorothea, my business partner. And we both had the same vision of wow, this is an amazing space here, surrounded by nature. And we would love to use this space and turn it into something that is really close to our heart. We both love yoga. We're lucky enough that the owner of the place, loved our energy, our ideas. Then we, turned this whole project, started turning it into a business. And the villa itself was in a state where it was a little rustic, not that we could use it right away. And also the parts outside, the whole landscaping wasn't at a point where we wanted to rent it out to clients. So we were full of ideas and started, creating a business plan and thought, okay, how can we do it within, actually we set ourselves a really ambitious goal. Within 6 months, we wanted to start hosting guests. So
that's incredible. 6 months is a very fast timeline if you're having to do any kind of building or repairs or upgrades. I'm assuming because you said it was pretty rustic, it was over 1,000 years old. Did you have to do things like plumbing or electrical or anything like that?
First, we looked at the outside area and it's 300 acres. So it's huge. And we wanted to create a space. It's called Borgo Belsedere, which means as much as in Italian, nice butt, and which also has another meaning, which means you sit down on your nice butt and enjoy the wonderful view. So we wanted to create lots of little spaces because there's a huge park around and a piazza, a big pool, different areas where we wanted to make sure that it's nice because, in Italy, inside, over the time when you retreat, you hang out outside. So we really wanted to have a nice area. So we planted 1,000 plants, added new pathways, created a new piazza. This was all something that we thought is important. And then we started renovating 11 rooms. Some we completely reconstructed and others we just painted walls, made new interior, put new interior inside, did lots of furniture shopping, antiquing around in the Italian countryside, and used lots of old furniture, which was already at the place. Renovated it, refurbished it, always had this goal in mind of we don't want to create a completely new place. We want to use what is there in a sustainable way and change it in a way that also belongs to Tuscany. So we've used lots of colors, to keep the charm, all the different colors of Tuscany in the room. So every room is also different. That was, something that we developed.
Looking through the pictures and the videos, it looks stunning. You guys, the link will be in the show notes. You have to look at it. If you are not going to host a retreat there, you've got to attend a retreat there. You've got to get there because it's absolutely beautiful. The pool, was that already there? Or did you guys have to add the pool in?
No, the pool was there. We really had a good structure from the beginning. But I think one of the challenges was because there was so much. Where do we start? Where do we focus on? So this was like something where Dorothea and I really developed a plan of okay, first the outside area, then we have to get the rooms ready. While we get the rooms ready, we have to market the place to get sales inside, fill up the sales funnel, build up a website. Nothing was there. The business, in the end, it's like a small business from a big point of view. But there are so many little things where we had to really dive into. And this is what we've done. And we kind of I think in German, we say, you buy the cat in the bag. It's you don't really know how it looks like because we didn't have any room ready yet. So we marketed something where I always showed the outside area. You couldn't see how the rooms look like. And I think from a perspective of a location that you book as a retreat organizer, you always want to know how the bathrooms look like, but nothing was in place. So for me, from the strategy of marketing the place was interesting because I always set up video calls in order to really get the trust of the organizers. And in the end, we had 7 retreats. We started last year, so 2024 in June to host retreats. And we had 7 retreats for our first half year that we started. So,
That's beautiful. I love how you said that at first it was super overwhelming because I think that people, when they're thinking about opening a venue, whether they're building it from scratch or they're redoing whatever is already there, you get really overwhelmed. Where do you start? And I love that you said you started from the outside because that is going to be the first impression when people come and you can get that done. And then I love it that you marketed it from there. So get the outside done and then start marketing while you're doing the inside. And it is going to be a trust thing there. But I think when you're very transparent and you say, here are the features, here's what it's going to look like, and you just start marketing it from that standpoint. The only thing that's nerve-wracking, and I don't know if it was for you, is when we were building our center, we had our first retreat. It was booked in May of the year that we opened. And come February, I was like, oh my gosh, are we going to be ready? I was so nervous for that first one. I feel like I was sick just making sure that we were ready. So my biggest recommendation is that you put some cushion in there to make sure that you're not, so stressed out that you won't be ready for that first guest that walks in because, as you know, first impressions is everything.
Yeah, I can so relate. We ordered so many things. We ordered because we have 11 rooms, 22 mattresses, pillows. And so we were really and also for the new rooms, we had several things where we were okay, whoa, until one day before the clients came, certain things arrived and we were really sweating because it was really, But I think in the end, you have to trust yourself. And what we always, the customer doesn't know the concept, how it should look, how the perfect concept should look like. So I think a lot is always also in your mind. That's what I realized from my corporate jobs when I was presenting something in front of people. It's always they don't know what you want to tell them. And this is also what we thought, okay, we do everything we can and push everything as fast as we can. But in the end, I think it's also a lot about how you as a host of the location are so much sympathy is also counting in the end of with your first clients. I think it's really something you feel, the energy, what your hosts give in. So I think also this is something where we were really grateful that the first guests, they were really appreciating also the journey. They were following our journey and appreciated the little things how much love we put into the place. They could feel it. And I think it's important to really share your journey, where you're working on, what you're doing, that people don't, there are so many wonderful places out there, but people choose your place for a certain reason. And I think if this is in line and you are transparent, as you said before, I think that's really important. And yeah.
I agree with you. And then the energy, I'm sure that they felt the energy of you and your partner and what you guys were putting into this and your hopes and your passion and your mission. Let's talk a little bit about the facility. So you said that you have 22 beds. So how many people can you sleep?
We have 11 rooms and can sleep 22 people. So everything is like all rooms are twin bedrooms to make sure to put them as a double bed or as 2 single beds. And we've done this on purpose. I think you have the best, you can change around. And if someone wants a 3rd bed in the room, we are flexible. We could also do that. And
I agree with you on the beds. I get that question all the time. And I'm a big believer, twin beds, but you can put them together for a king bed so the room can be flexible.
Yeah. I think from a general point of view, also really, you have so many different opportunities from the customer side for events such as weddings, where we rather need king beds, or corporate retreats for yoga. Yeah, it's just flexibility helps, I think.
Hey, it's Shannon here. I'm just popping in really quickly to ask a big favor. Would you pause the show and go review it for us? Please. Reviews really help us to be able to get more guests and more experts on the show to help you transform your retreats. So if you wouldn't mind pausing and leaving us a review, that would mean everything. And if you're not already subscribed, do that too.
Yes, when you're building out a venue, you want to think on all the different scenarios. I love that. And then I'm assuming you have a big kitchen there. Do you provide the meals, or how does that work for meals?
That's also another point what we developed, the service providers. We have a big industrial kitchen. It's an agriturismo, the place, which basically means it's a running farm. So there's also a vineyard, truffle grounds, olive groves. This is all running. This is what the owner is doing next to building up a boutique hotel. This is like the bigger, which is happening in the next years. Yeah, from the kitchen, we have a big industrial kitchen and always work with caterings or local chefs in the area. So we have like our menu is also designed for yoga retreats, for generally like a healthy Italian kitchen with like an international twist. I think that's what people love. And it's not like that we have like a fully Italian kitchen, what we offer. Yeah, we have like breakfast. People also love brunches. I think brunch and evening is like having dinner is like the perfect combination most of the time. Yeah.
I love it. Okay, so when someone books your place, they could just work with you on catering or a chef to come in and do the cooking for them.
Correct. What we realized is also what people requested lately more often is that they can use the kitchen themselves and bring their own chef. What I also love, because I think then both options are great and you always have to see what is more suitable. But we also started that because I think it's also nice. I mean, even for cooking retreats, what also suits to us, because there is such a big kitchen. Yeah, different opportunities. And I think that's also coming from the business point, always like there are so many requests that are coming in and we always think, there's always also inspiration behind the request. So it's like developing the business over the time. Yeah.
No, but that's true. Again, it's that whole flexibility piece and then responding to the needs of the guests, just like you're saying, as the requests are coming in and you're realizing, we could make this a dual purpose, or we can add this option, or whatever may be the case, and just being open-minded and making sure that it works for you, the facility, your team, or whatever may be the case. Do you and your business partner live on site?
We did live on site for the heavy construction building up a business, but we live now very close to the location. So we are close by to always be present. Yeah, I think that's also something important.
Yeah. So is there anybody on site when the guests are there, or are they just there by themselves for the most part? How does that work?
The guests book the location, the whole location. But the owner is on site full time, and there are also a few volunteers, like 4 or 5 volunteers, because it is the location at some point in time, like over 500 years ago, over 200 people lived there. It was like a very noble family that owned the place. Italian family. Yeah, as you can imagine, it's huge and it's a nice way to fill the location with life. And we also started artist in residence. So there also might be like artists on site when there will be retreats. And this is something we love, the fact of learning from each other. So it's like when we have an artist in residence, we also offer workshops, experiences on site, in general, local experience such as truffle hunts, wine tastings. There is a big cantina. As I said, there's like wine gets produced. So it's like a holistic approach, what we build up, that it's not you come to Tuscany and have like a retreat, but you could be anywhere. We want that you feel that you're in Tuscany, that you do a cooking class, it's up to you. But I think having the opportunity, the possibility is a nice fact. That's what I love when I go somewhere, to also learn a little bit about the culture aspect.
I couldn't agree more. I love that so much. Each of my retreats, especially when they're international, we are always going to do something that's specifically popular in that culture, learning directly from the people of that area, because I just feel like that it's such a beautiful exchange. I love that you have volunteers or artists that are on site. So is there like separate quarters? Like, do they have their own building, or how does that work?
Yes, their own buildings. So the retreat guests interfere walking around the property, but they have their own places where they live and not interfering in the kitchen. But of course, it gives more of the local life, I would say.
I agree. Are there any future things that you're developing for the place, or do you pretty much feel like you have it right where it's going to be and you're just now continuing just to build the business itself as far as retreats?
Currently, we are developing more. There are more buildings that we are developing for different uses. Also at the outside area, there's still more to do. I think we always say it's a place full of imperfections because it is so old. There's so much that you can still develop. And this is also what I love, because it's like a place full of opportunities and there will always be more. Currently, we are also working on the cantina that is on site to make it also use it more for tastings. And this is also something which wasn't on priority A for running the business, but it's something that is developing, of course. And yes.
I love that. I'm all about putting together, like I used to have when we were first building the ranch, I had these different boards, and this was like you mentioned, priority A, I need these done before we open. Priority B needs to be done, within 6 months of opening. And then priority C is like within the first 2 years of opening. And then there's just ongoing, right? So we're in the space now of it's just ongoing because we're into our third year. And so for our venue here in Texas, and so it's just ongoing now. Now we're just adding ongoing projects. So I can totally appreciate that, you're looking at all of these structures on your property and how could you turn, maybe I'm making it up, but maybe one into like a sauna or, whatever may be the case, just adding more amenities to the facility. And it's such a great way too, to then reach back out to the other hosts that have already been there saying, hey, we've added these extra new things. We'd love for you to come and check it out.
Yes, I agree. And I think it also, developing a place like that, you're never standing still. And also, the world is evolving. The retreat business is evolving. I also love, creating different experiences. Who knows what else we can start doing? We have like a pizza oven, which we also want to use from this year onwards. So it's also for pizza parties and Noche Italiana. I think there are so many, like from the event side, I have so many ideas. And I think that's the fun. That's the joy I have.
That is the fun part. There's so much that can be done and you get all these ideas. And it's really great too, because you'll get some hosts that come through that also will have ideas and share with you from the different places that they have been. And so I think it's such a beautiful thing. And that is where you find so much joy and fun in creating new spaces or changing spaces, et cetera, and so forth. So, well, thank you so much for being on the show. I've got everything about your location is linked in our show notes, so you can check them out there, as well as their social media. And I cannot wait to book my retreat at your beautiful location and come see you in your beautiful 300 plus acres, 1,000 plus year old gorgeous estate.
Thanks so much, Shannon, for having me and for sharing the place and for introducing it. I'm happy when you're coming over. I would be so excited. And for everyone else, follow us on Instagram, follow our journey. And I'm really happy to get to know each other if you're interested in coming.
Awesome. Thank you.
Thanks for listening to the Retreat Leaders Podcast. Learn more at www.theretreatranch.com. See you next time.